Among the many questions that have puzzled scientists for decades, the question of whether we are alone in the universe is certainly one of the ones that most captivate us as a species. And among the many possibilities within this question, there is one uncertainty in particular that plagues many experts. Why has humanity never been visited by extraterrestrials? However, the search for extraterrestrial life is a very current concern for science, and thanks to this search, we have some signs that could indicate the existence not only of life outside the Earth, but of intelligent life with which we could establish communication. The SETI Institute is a non-profit research organization whose mission is to explore, understand, and explain the origin and nature of life in the universe, and to apply the knowledge gained to inspire and guide present and future generations. Its goal is the discovery and sharing of knowledge as scientific ambassadors to the public, press and government. SETI stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The institute consists of three main centers: the Carl Sagan Center, dedicated to the study of life in the universe, the Center for Education, focused on astronomy, astrobiology and space science for students and educators, and the Center for Public Outreach, which is dedicated to outreach. Instruments used by SETI Institute scientists include the ground-based Allen Telescope Array, several ground-based optical telescopes such as the Shin Telescope at Lick Observatory, the WM Keck and IRTF telescope in Hawaii, and the very large telescopes in Chile. SETI researchers also use space telescope facilities, primarily the Hubble Space Telescope, the Spitzer Space Telescope and the Herschel Space Telescope. SETI scientists are also involved in space missions: the New Horizons mission to Pluto, the Cassini mission, formerly in orbit around Saturn, and the Martian rovers Opportunity and Curiosity. Several SETI projects around the world are pointing their radio telescope at the sky in hopes of picking up a radio signal whose characteristics might have an artificial origin, such as repeating pattern or a strong pulse with no apparent natural cause. Scientists are looking for signals that could be specifically directed at us by civilization aware of our existence, but also transmission that might simply escape into space like our television signals. One of the most mysterious signals that could indicate the presence of extraterrestrial life is the signal known as WOW. Around midnight on August 15, 1977, a telescope known as the Big Ear picked up a strange space signal. It was a wave that lasted 72 seconds and marked a peak intensity 30 times louder than the sounds normally emitted by the universe. The next morning, radio astronomer Jerry Ehman detected the signal when reviewing the reports emitted by the telescope's computer, operated by Ohio State University, USA. It was an electromagnetic or radio wave represented by the code 6EQUG5. The telescope's computer used the numbers 0 through 9 to represent low-frequency waves as the letters A through Z. For higher frequencies, all measured in megahertz. That is, the presence of the letter U in the code meant that the signal had reached one of the highest frequencies on the electromagnetic wave measurement scale. To his surprise, Ehman wrote WOW in red ink, next to the combination of 6 numbers and letters. Since then, the wave has been known to astronomers as the WOW signal. However, as interesting as this signal was, since Ehman's finding, no scientist has been able to detect the WOW signal again, nor can its origin be determined. Ehman ruled out that the signal came from a satellite, a military operation, or a ground-based aircraft. Seth Shostak, an astronomer with the Extraterrestrial Intelligence Search Institute, in an interview for the BBC, said that the way the signal appeared and disappeared, and the way it increased in intensity and then went away, makes it look like an ET signal. That is, a signal coming from extraterrestrial life. Whoa, this is not the only strange signal that astronomers on Earth have detected. In the 1970s and 1980s, there were many waves that were received only once and never picked up again. At that time, it was very difficult to identify the signals, but now the radars have become more sophisticated and there are no more WOW signals. At the end of August last year, news spread on the internet that the Russian Ratan 600 radio telescope had detected a powerful and intriguing signal coming from the star HD 164-595, a sun-like star located in the constellation Hercules, 94 light-years away from Earth. The announcement spoke of an unusual signal for a natural source. and naturally a wave of speculation about a possible alien origin immediately arose. The SETI Institute in California directed its alien telescope array toward HD 164-595, but failed to hear any signal. In the case of the Ratan 600 signal, Russian astronomers wished to publish a note confirming the telescope's use for researchers for intelligent life. Further processing and analysis of the signal revealed it is very likely terrestrial origin. In October 2015, The Atlantic reported astronomers' stupefaction at the aberrant behavior of a star officially named KIC 846-285-2, but known by the name of the Yale researcher who accounted for the phenomenon, Tabitha Boyajian. Over several years of observation, the Kepler Space Telescope has recorded a sporadic and reversible dimming of the star's brightness by 22%, a magnitude impossible to attribute to the transit of a planet, nor to the disk of material that might summon a young star, since Boyajian appeared to be a mature star. When the data came to the attention of Penn State University astrophysicist Jason White, he linked Boyajian's data to one of his lines of work, the possibility of detecting alien civilization. If a highly advanced technological species were to build a swarm of large engineered structures in orbit around its star, the result would be something like what Boyajian observed, a partial occultation of light. In the 1960s, physicist Freeman Dyson formalized this idea, which was already in science fiction, so that such hypothetical structures are known as Dyson spheres, rings or swarms. Since then, the Boyajian star has not ceased to generate controversy and both interest and skepticism. SETI surveys have been unable to find any radio signals or laser pulses from the star. Subsequent studies supported the hypothesis proposed by Boyajian and his collaborators, that the dimming of a cloud of debris from the fragmentation of a family of comets. However, this theory foundered when subsequent research proposed that the light had been reduced by a total of 20% over the last century, something that did not fit the hypothesis of the transient passage of comet fragments. Although these data were later challenged by another study, there does not appear to be a trend of dimming over time that does not fit with the comet idea. A new analysis of the Kepler data released that last August found that the star lost 3% of its brightness during the 4 years of observation. According to the authors, no known or proposed stellar phenomenon can fully explain all aspects of the observed light curve. White proposes as the most possible hypothesis that the dimming is not due to something around the star, but far away, materials that happen to fall in our line of sight to it, such as dust and interstellar gas. At the same time that White proposed his idea, 2 US astronomers detailed the possible presence of a swarm of interstellar material, consisting of comets and planetoids, in the line of sight of the star. The new hypothesis suggests something more daunting, stating that any species that advances far enough to communicate and expand through space is likely to face a similar set of existential dilemmas in its survival. Thus, as spacefaring civilizations grow in scale and technological development, they eventually reach a crisis point where innovation no longer keeps pace with energy demand. What comes next is collapse, losing then the opportunity to communicate and visit new worlds.